Good evening once again. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. It's me, Micheal, Jordan Lukomwa, with Elizabeth Nakakoni, and this is what we have for you tonight. The G77 plus China has demanded action during the summit for the future that is happening at the United Nations headquarters in New York. Prime Minister Robert Nabanja, who is attending the forum, presented the statement on behalf of the G77 plus China during plenary at the New York headquarters, at the UN headquarters in New York on Sunday. Uganda is the current chair of the G77 plus China, which is the largest intergovernmental organization of developing countries in the United Nations.
The G77 plus China provides the means for the countries of the South to articulate and promote their collective economic interests and enhance their joint negotiating capacity on all major international economic issues within the United Nations system and promote South-to-South cooperation for development. While delivering the statement on behalf of G77 plus China, the Right Honorable Robina Nabanja said that the future we want should be free from any oppression and free from global inequalities and divides in levels of development, financing, technology and innovation.
The future we want should be free from any oppression and free from global inequalities and divides in levels of development, financing, technology and innovation.
Nabanja says that the G77 plus China has hopes and conviction that this pact should not become another futile exercise, but must garner political will and commitment across all levels of global leadership to pragmatically address current issues and lay a foundation for solutions for our future global progress and challenges.
Therefore, the global community should commit to the practical implementations of all the agreed actions in the Pact for the Future.
At the event, the Kenyan President Dr. William Ruto noted that multilateral systems are not giving the desired solutions for equitable development and demanded that Africa be given permanent membership on the UN Security Committee.
Today, we have no choice but to reject outdated systems and reimagine a framework of international cooperation that works for all 8 million of us in the planet.
On his part, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that the Pact for the Future offers solutions to the prevailing global challenges.
The Pact for the Future, the Global Digital Compact, and the Declaration on Future Generations open pathways to new possibilities and opportunities. On peace and security, they promise a breakthrough on reforms to make the Security Council more reflective of today's world, addressing the historic underrepresentation of Africa, Asia-Pacific, and Latin America.
The Prime Minister was accompanied by the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Okello Oryem, Uganda's permanent representative at the United Nations, Ambassador Adonia Ayebare, and the head of Sustainable Development Goals in Uganda, Dr. Albert Byamujisha. The Summit of the Future in New York aims at producing an intergovernmentally negotiated, action-oriented pact for the future with chapters on sustainable development and financing for development, international peace and security, global governance, science, technology and innovation, youth and future generations, among others. Mariona Wori for UBC.
First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has urged adults to encourage young people in their communities to be confident, believe in themselves and know their worth in life. She believes this will help curb teenage pregnancies, reduce school dropouts and enable young people to thrive. She was addressing stakeholders' consultative meeting she hosted for leaders in Masaka region at Masaka State Lodge. Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayebwa says that Parliament will make sure that responsible government departments receive all the necessary support required to fulfill Uganda's obligations in the cooperation agreement signed during the 9th Forum on the China-Africa Cooperation that took place in Beijing. Speaking during a meeting with a delegation of members of the Financial and Economic Committee of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China, Tayebwa expressed the need to optimize benefits from the comprehensive cooperative partnership with China.
A delegation of members of the Financial and Economic Committee of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China, led by their chairman, Zongshen, have paid a courtesy call to the Deputy Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, Honorable Thomas Tayebwa. Their visit follows a delegation of Ugandan members of Parliament, led by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, last month's visit to China to attend the 40th anniversary of the National People's Congress.
We shall make sure the responsible government departments receive all the necessary support required to fulfill our country's obligations. Uganda and the People's Republic of China enjoy strong historical and excellent bilateral relations that have been upgraded to a comprehensive cooperative partnership. We should seek to optimize benefits from this mutual cooperation and partnership, including effective execution of projects that enhance Uganda's economic transformation, development and prosperity.
China's economic growth has contributed 30% to the world economic growth. Zongshan, the head of the delegation, expressed the need to deepen the exchange in political, social, cultural and civilization with Uganda and the African continent.
Should increase the docking of two countries' development strategies. The third suggestion is to strengthen the exchanges of experience in legislation and state governance so as to create a favorable legal environment for bilateral cooperation.
State Minister for Finance in charge of general duties, Henry Musasizi, moved a vote of thanks.
In this financial year, we have embarked on our 10-fold growth strategy that will see our GDP move from $55 billion to $500 billion by year 2039.
I'm Nafka Farid and Gloria Gwetabenji.
Buganda Road Court Chief Magistrate has charged and remanded Kampala City socialite and businessman Nasa Nduhuchire, also known as Don Nasa, on charges of aggravated trafficking and sexual exploitation of an underage girl. Nasa, who was arrested over the weekend from Kenya, was not allowed to take plea since this court has no jurisdiction to hear the offences against him.
That's Nasa Nduhira as Don Nasa, aged 38 years, a Kampala City socialist and businessman at Buganda Road Magistrates Court, to answer charges that led to his arrest last week. Nasa Nduhire, who was arrested from Kenya in court before Chief Magistrate Nonadi Kaizi, was charged with counts of aggravated trafficking and sexual exploitation of an underage girl.
The second count is defilement, code section 1291 of the Penal Code Act, cap 120. It's alleged that you, Lukomwa Nasa, also known as Don Nasa, between the 23rd of May 2024 and 27th of May 2024, between Tagore Apartments, Mawanda Road, Kapa District, and Chito Zone, Kira Municipality, Wakso District, you performed the sexual act with that same girl, a girl below the age of 18 years. Have you understood the charges?
In the charge sheet read in parts, Don Nasa Nduhire is accused of transporting a 16-year-old from Togole Apartments in Kamocha along Acacia Avenue and harboring her in his residence in Chito Zone, Chideka Division, Wachiso District for 4 days, from 23rd up to 27th May 2024.
You performed the sexual act with that same girl. Count 1 of robbery trafficking in children, called the social 3A and 5A, carries a maximum sentence of death upon conviction. It therefore means that this court has no jurisdiction to put the charge. It's only told by the High Court.
Don Nasa was not allowed to take plea since this court has no jurisdiction to hear the offense against him. Don Nasa, who is jointly charged with Atete, a 19-year-old personal assistant to Ntungamo Municipality Member of Parliament, Yona Musinguzi, her bail has been cancelled following the amendments on the charge sheet of aggravated trafficking and introducing Don Nasa as the second accused person.
That is okay. The reason why we are cancelling this bail is that they have amended the charges, charging you with a capital offense, which carries a death sentence. My work is only to remind you, practically. But what you can do, now that you are represented by an able-bodied lawyer here, is going to make a formal application to the High Court ICD, National Crimes Division, for your bail to be reinstated.
Prosecution led by Joseph Chemuhendo told court that inquiries into the case are complete and prayed to court the accused be sent to High Court for a full trial. Presiding Magistrate Nonadi Kaizi remanded the accused to Luzila Government Prison as they wait to appear before the High Court.
I have consulted my client. He says he did not commit the offences. These are just cooked up charges. So he has been remanded, and we shall proceed to the High Court to make the necessary applications for him to get freedom. He's innocent, and whatever has happened now is just procedure. He will get time and get out of prison.
Nasa Nduhire alias Don Nasa was arrested during the weekend by joint security operatives from Uganda and Kenya. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansubuga, UBC News.
The Uganda Revenue Authority, URA, has called upon the Catholic Church to deepen tax education among Ugandans in an effort to expand the country's tax base. The Commissioner General, URA, John Rujoki Musinguzi, made the appeal during a courtesy visit to the Archbishop's residence in Rubaga, Kampala. The visit also served to affirm URA's readiness for a 5-year partnership with the church.
In the 2024-2025 fiscal year, Uganda Revenue Authority is tasked with collecting at least 32 trillion Uganda shillings out of the 72 trillion national budget. With reduced foreign support, Uganda Revenue Authority will need to rely more on domestic taxes to meet this target.
Self-reliance and the foreign donors reducing in their support, we are facing this even at the national level. Your Grace, as you know, our nation has also been largely reliant on these donors to support our national budget. So as Uganda Revenue Authority this financial year, we have been tasked to collect 32 trillion, and that's what we are looking for.
But the Commissioner General, Musinguzi John Rujoki, highlighted the Catholic Church as a strategic partner in tax education, which could increase civic engagement in tax payment and compliance.
So at URA, we've been trying to see what can we do differently. And what we have come up with is to deepen tax sensitization and education. Your Grace, we believe that many citizens in our country are not paying tax because they have not been fully sensitized on the importance of paying tax. So while we focus on now deepening our tax education, we have identified key strategic partners, and the church in particular the Catholic Church, is a very strategic partner. That speaks to the desire to now strategically move and partner with the Church.
The Archbishop Paul Semugere said the Church will support tax education but emphasized the need for tax implementers to ensure that collected funds are utilized to the benefit of the taxpayer.
But some of our people have a feeling that all the money that is collected is misused. And that is another it's not a challenge, but I think it is a task that you have to do, to let people know that this money that is being collected is being put to good use.
Meanwhile, Uganda Revenue Authority has entered a 5-year partnership with Nsambya Babies Home to lead a fundraising initiative for abandoned and neglected children. The partnership will be launched with a charity walk on Saturday, September 28th, with Archbishop flagging it off.
We cannot tell the potential they have until we invest in them and protect them and give them access to education and protection and medical care. You never know, we could be nurturing a president or a bishop or a vicar general or a commissioner general and many other important people for this country. So really that's a good cause. We appreciate it and we'll identify with it. We'll make a contribution which maybe we'll announce on the day of the walk.
Crispus Arenitwe, UBC News.
Inter-security agencies have intercepted and arrested 4 Chinese nationals at Malaba border while trying to escape from Uganda into Kenya. The 4 are accused of aggravated robbery, assault and malicious damage to property. Police spokesperson Fred Chituma Rusoke says that the Chinese nationals attacked fellow Chinese investors in Namave Industrial Park and were trying to flee to Kenya.
Four Chinese nationals are being held at Police Directorate of Crime Intelligence to aid investigations concerning aggravated robbery, assault and malicious damage to property. Preliminary police investigations indicate that the 4 suspects who were intercepted in Malaba while attempting to flee the country attacked and assaulted 2 Chinese investors in Namave Industrial Park.
The assailants allegedly assaulted those victims, vandalized the property, and it is also alleged that they took 2 mobile phones, 1 laptop and a desktop, among other things. Then thereafter fled.
Relatedly, 2 UPDF officers have been apprehended for aiding the 4 men in committing crime. It is alleged that the 2 army officers transported the aggressors.
That is Abdul Aziz Jafar, a driver, and Private Mwanje Brian, while others managed to evade. Being that Mwanje was a member of the armed forces, and we handed them over to UPDF, and we are doing joint investigations in this matter.
In other operations, police arrested former police constable Isaac Ojok over impersonation. It is alleged that Ojok, who was dismissed from force, decided to fabricate traffic police uniform and embarked on extortion of motorists.
So he did not go home. He simply made a corner, fabricated uniform of traffic, and embarked on enforcing traffic regulations, but particularly impounding motorcycles, allegedly for a fee.
Meanwhile, the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, has called on church proprietors to submit their credentials for licensing and data update. This follows the recent legislation that transferred the registration responsibility of churches and marriages from the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, URSB, to NIRA.
Besides marriage registration, NIRA will also assume other duties, and these include licensing and registering churches for celebrating marriages, and as well as maintaining registers related to matters required for registration under relevant laws, and holding and disseminating information on marriages celebrated in Uganda.
In a separate development, security agencies are urging the public, particularly those who fell victim to the now remanded Kampala City socialite Nasa Ndohikiri, also known as Don Nasa, to report to their nearest police posts to record statements. Abdul Nasser Lobwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Chinese-Ugandan Best Charities, led by the CEO Zhong Industries Empire, Zhong Shuangquan, have launched a fundraising campaign to help the mother of a 2-year-old girl who was raped by her uncle in Kayunga. They have donated cash and food items to the toddler's mother, Shamim Nanchinga, and launched a fundraising campaign to raise money needed for her referral and medication.
The content contained in this story is touching as a result of the act by the suspect, and we shall also withhold the names and image of the toddler to protect its identity. At around 5 p.m. of the 14th August 2024, Shamimu Nanchinga caught red-handed 18-year-old Kasim Katende, a resident of Buyobe village in Kayunga, defiling her 2-year-old daughter.
Okutegeera ng'omwana wange bamusobezza nali nafumbirwa ewalala nga nalekawo abaana bange wa maama ow'emyaka 4 n'ow'emyaka 2, omu mulenzi omu muwala. Kati nga buli wiiki nina okugenda okulambula ku baana bange. Ntuuka ekaka wali wasirifu naye ng'enzigi nzigule ludda sayidi ne sayidi. Ntuuka nnyingira mu nnyumba ono omulenzi nga yeebase, ne nnyingira mu bisenge byombi okunoonyaamu omwana oyo omulala omuwala nga simulaba. Ne ngenda okwetolera bwe nti nasanga kojjaawe Katende Kasimu yamwebaseeko.
Nanchinga later sought for help from local leaders, Kayunga Hospital, police and other authorities, and the victim Kasim Katende was arrested.
Nentukawa chairman yaŋŋamba nga bw'omuleese bw'otyo bwe njagala omutwale ngenda ebbaluwa naye togenda mu ddwaliro tuukira ku poliisi, ne poliisi eraba omwana. Era kye nakola ku kutya kwe naliko yadde sayina ssente nakozesa obwangu ntuke ku poliisi bayambe omwana wange. Bamuwa amakerenda, obucupa bwali 3, akamu kaalimu 9, akamu 6 n'akalala 6. Naye nga baŋŋambye buli lunaku muwa obukerenda 2.
On 16th September 2024, there was a defilement case in court of a 2-year-old girl, and Kayunga Grade 1 Magistrate Farida Ikimana first halted the session and led a fundraising campaign to raise medical fees for the defiled girl. UBC also talked to Del Monte's correspondent based in Kayunga, Freddie Muzali, about the defilement case.
I had gone to Kayunga Magistrates Court to cover my news stories. I came across a case where an 18-year-old male had defiled a 2-year-old child. So I was touched, and everyone was touched by that sad incident. So after the court session, I got out and got information from the mother. So I went ahead to really look out for details, and some people can help, because the child could not, was just passing urine and stool, cannot control it, was crying, had stomach problems. So they told us that she really needed some medical attention.
Court postponed the case to October 7th, 2024. According to 24-year-old Shamim Nanchinga, the mother of the victim, Katende acts of incest and defilement are common.
Gwokutaano yasobya ku mwana muganda wange ku taate yalwawo ng'amukozesa ebbanga ddene nga tetumanyi. Kati yabeeranga afuna kanna akadda kuzawuja kwadda nga kagamba wabeera wajja ng'ompita nga bavaayo mu luumu.
She prayed justice prevails to end such acts related to Katendes.
Njagala kkooti abalamuzi ab'ekitiibwa bonna abatambulidde ku musango gwange mbasaba essalire Katende omusango okusinziira ku buzito bwe, kuba nze sola kusalira Katende kuba tuli ba Luganda.
So, China nationals led by the Chief Executive Officer of Zongo Industries Empire, Zongo Shuangquan, Wangali Zen from Portugal, and members of Mandela Group of companies have donated to the cause.
Benefiting from here, I need to give back to the society.
So that's why whatever for money to help people in this country, I will be appreciated. But as an individual, I can only do whatever I can to do it.
我希望我的捐助能帮助这个家庭，帮助这个小孩。
We really condemn this act because we really care for our kids, for the kids of Africa.
Zongo Shwango Kwani has condemned the act of incest and defilement. In collaboration with the Friends Overseas, has launched a fundraising campaign to raise funds to treat the victim.
I strongly condemn this pest behavior. We have to stop such violence. That's why today we are here. We want to have a campaign. First of all, if anybody else can give a hand to help this family, I will be highly appreciated. And also, I have talked to my daughter because now she's going to have a project in her school in Switzerland. So she's going to mobilize the funds.
For help, please call 0752 317 926, registered in the name of Idi Balikowa, Nachinga's father. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Very touching story there. The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, that's IGAD, is calling for regional solidarity for the management of desert locust and other transboundary pests. IGAD head of mission to Uganda, Jocelyn Bijira, says that the transboundary nature of such pests calls for regional cooperation to monitor and control their spread. This was during the IGAD training to sensitize plant protection experts on safe pesticide handling, pest monitoring and environmental health assessment in pest control.
The Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD region, faces significant food security challenges due to various interconnected factors like transboundary pests, desert locusts, fall armyworms and African armyworms, among others. It is against this backdrop that IGAD organized the training for plant protection experts and environmental health assessment in pest control. IGAD head of mission to Uganda, Jocelyn Bijira, noted that given the transboundary nature of these pests, regional collaboration is inevitable.
This training coming up with the declarations, member states committing to take forward and address the challenges around pest management. I think it is something that you have done very well, and I would like to appreciate IGPAC and the trainers for bringing the component of declaration into a training, because declarations are common to major policy influencing work. But growing that and bringing it this kind of
refreshed. This is a refresher training. We are all experts. And as it was a refresher training, it was looking at safe use of pesticides. It was looking at pest monitoring and environment. Really, when you look at what we have gone through, we have achieved.
Climate change worsens the challenges faced by vulnerable communities by creating ideal breeding conditions for the pests. This disrupts agricultural planning and poses a threat to food security.
Just let us start doing without with and without support. If we can apply this knowledge, help our farmers, help ourselves, help our countries, we will make a change, we will make a difference. Because if we continue to wait, as Africans wait for donors to give money, then this is where we go wrong.
In countries, we could have a system where we would be able to get warnings that are real time. So anything that helps us to work together, because the moment we pull together and we are able to be good keepers of our brothers. So if Kenya has an issue, we alert the other countries in time.
We pray that the policymakers of our country to monitor, mentor, and evaluate the already existing pesticide and land use rules and regulations.
To strengthen these efforts, The IGAD Secretariat established an inter-regional platform in 2021 with the goal of coordinating action against pests. This initiative is supported by the World Bank Emergency Locust Response Program, which aims at mitigating the impact of pests such as desert locusts across the region. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Refugees at Bolomoni Parish in Bidibidi settlement are living in fear following killings over land. On the 19th of August, 3 people died in a clash between two communities of Oluba Langi clan and Oluba Aliba on claims of owning the particular piece of land where refugees have settled since 2016.
Located in Bolomoni village, Otukwa Parish in Iringa South County, part of this land was given to Office of the Prime Minister by late Luka Ekile to host refugees since 2016.
The people who offered us the land and the landlord was the one who has been killed. It's the person in 2016 who gave us the land. I hope they will resolve it.
On 19th August, the Aluba Langi clan and Aluba Aliwa clan clashed when people from Langi clan organized to bury their relative and took the body to be buried in this disputed area. The family of Luka resisted, leading to fight where 2 people were killed on the spot. Houses burnt as Luka, the landlord, died some days later from a health facility after being shot with a bow and arrow.
Certainly this fighting is affecting refugees because the refugees from Mvepi refugee settlement near Bolomoni there were displaced and they had to run and seek shelter at the reception center. But also the refugees in zone 4 of Bidibidi, those areas of Odrav, they actually also had to run away. We informed the security officers in Yumbe district, that is the police, who also facilitated their movements to those locations to try to bring peace and calm there.
Many refugees fled, including teachers at Knowledge Land Primary School.
Actually, when that incident happened, actually in the middle of the refugees, so that thing made the refugees, most of them, to fear, because since they came from South Sudan, the same issue of war and the people being killed. So that thing made actually most of them run to that side of Mbepi.
As refugees, we were not actually aware of what is going to take place. And some of our members were preparing to go for the burial, and unfortunately, we found them fighting. So actually that thing has made the refugees to fear, because since a refugee is someone who came from South Sudan because of war, and even some of their goats were actually taken.
Efforts for police update proved futile as the police PRO for Northwest Nile, Ignatius Dragudu, claims not to have been updated about the matter since 19th August.
Yeah, we have not gathered the proper investigation, information yet from the DPC Yumbe. I can't give update without taking proper information from down there, please.
The Deputy RDC Yumbe, Voni Matthew, says security has taken charge of the area, adding that the safety of the refugees is guaranteed as legal procedures take course.
The situation is calm now. The police and the office of the RDC were there and met those groups separately, the Oluba Langi and the Oluba Aliba separately. Yeah, had a dialogue with them, and there is a plan to meet them jointly. So they have understood the situation, and the situation is quite calm now. Almost one family, because these people come from the same grandfather. So they are conflicting over a piece of land, which was for their grandfather, so it doesn't affect the refugees at all.
Could we say that the security of the refugees is assured?
Yes, very much assured.
Haringa Cultural Institution has also come in to ensure the matter is resolved. Joseph Orama, UBC News.
Police in North Kyoga has apprehended 4 people in connection with the stealing of goods from moving trucks. It is alleged that a group of gangs have been climbing trucks with valuable goods when they slow down at bad spots or humps.
Stealing from the moving trucks at night has been a big concern following the numerous reports from road users who have since fallen victims. Robbers stage at bad spots and hams to gain access to the goods when trucks slow down.
For them, they climb. So it's a matter of pushing the items that are in the trucks. Then they have their colleagues who are down here collecting them. That's how they've been operating.
4 people have since been arrested following an operation carried out by police.
So this is a very serious matter, which we've also taken it seriously, and we believe that they'll have to face the law.
At least 69 suspected criminals were also arrested on allegation of housebreaking.
The joint intelligence-led operations in the areas of Jinjakam, Ube, Kampala, Kakoge, and Kichope. This follows complaints that members of the public were raising about housebreaking and theft, snatching of phones and valuable items, waylaying people while going back home. This operation was conducted.
Meanwhile, following the official closure of Karuma Bridge, police advises motorists to adhere to the alternative routes as guided by the Ministry of Works and Transport.
Our appeal to members of the public is we should be able to observe the road signs, the traffic regulations. That is how best we can protect ourselves from accident. There are team who are providing security at the bridge. We will definitely support the team who are working. So that means even walking, even motorcycle, even bicycle, no one is supposed to pass through the bridge.
Ediulwa, UBC News.
Teachers and leaders in the Elgon region have been tasked to inculcate values that encourage learners to love their country, while presiding over the pass-out of 1,500 student patriots in Mbale City and another bunch of over 1,000 from Mbale District. Colonel Justus Rukundo, the commandant of Oliver Tambo School of Leadership and Pan-Africanism Center of Excellence, noted that if teachers mold learners on the foundation of love for their country, it will create stability.
Physically fit, they are ready to defend, serve and sacrifice for Uganda. Wow. Hamdan Girls High School.
East, west, south, north, home is the best. True patriotism to preserve the national pride. You must be proud to be a Ugandan. There are some people, when they go outside Uganda, they want to change citizenship.
There are 3 components of keeping healthy. Number 1, proper nutrition. Number 2, regular physical exercises, which they taught you here, but which you must carry on. You must continue with them, consolidate them for you to be healthy. Regular medical checkup. And that one works for, not necessarily even for these ones, but also for us who are here.
Our patriots to put in action what they have learned so that it can help them to survive.
Keep yourself pure. Don't allow yourself to be defiled. Don't allow yourself to get unnecessary diseases which can hamper your future. But also, you can have unnecessary accidents like pregnancy, which can also lead you not to continue with your studies.
With this message of patriotism, where you are supposed to love your country, love yourself, love what you do, support government programs. If the children take it to heart, I know they will become very good and productive citizens tomorrow.
Action Aid Uganda's Executive Director, Xavier Ijoi, has highlighted financial investments as major contributors to environment harm. Unapito says that a global report launched in 47 countries shows how the investments support damaging industries.
Action Aid Uganda, alongside its global affiliates and partners, has released the report analyzing the flow of finances that contribute to the worsening climate crisis.
This time, the report is tracking the flow of finances to cause climate crisis. So we're able to document around the world where the funds are flowing and what they're going to fund, especially on issues of climate change. Over the past 1 week, ActionAid International Uganda with its partners have been engaged on a number of activities to amplify the voices and raise campaign around issues of climate change.
ActionAid Uganda's Executive Director Xavier Ejoyi pointed out the growing evidence of human activities intensifying climate change, particularly through the use of fossil fuels and large-scale industrial agriculture. The report intensifies fossil fuel exploitation and industrial agriculture as the primary contributors to environmental degradation.
And we hope that the undercurrents of the climate crisis, how the funding flows to fund the climate crisis today, is able to see the light of the day, that it is going to be amplified, and together we can make a resolve as Ugandans, as humans, as media, as governments around the world, to end the climate crisis.
The head of fundraising and programs at ActionAid Uganda, Mercy Grace Mondura, says the country is already experiencing the impacts of climate change with unpredictable weather patterns, droughts and flooding affecting local communities.
Climate finance grants from the global north for climate-hit countries are still grossly insufficient to support climate action and the necessary transitions. And as such, climate finance grants amount to just, 1 out of 20 of the global south public finance going to fossil fuels and industrial agriculture. As a result, global south renewable energy is receiving 40 times less public finance than the fossil fuel sector.
The climate crisis financing report emphasizes that financial institutions continue to invest in sectors that worsen these effects. It also examines how financial flows are fueling the climate crisis.
So the call to action for the government of Uganda to redirect the public financing, specifically that colleagues were talking about, because when you look at the allocation that has been put to agriculture specifically, if the research that Monsanto is funding, that all the money that has been generated into the development of all the trials on GMO, if can be now redirected into our indigenous seed varieties, okay? If also our smallholder farmers can be funded to do participatory research.
The launch of Climate Crisis Financing Report is part of a broader global effort by ActionAid to highlight the financial underpinnings of climate change. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
We thank you so much for watching. Let's go for a short break. We have more on return.
We are at Shiloh Standard Nursery and Primary School to reward our lucky winner again for our pay school fees with Momo. We are paying school fees for a student who is lucky because the parent used our codes to pay their school fees. You can as well be our winner for the next school fees prize by dialing *165 *80# and you opt into the competition.
Umiatia goensha ngoye shimte luangene kanti bisholo kwana tena anene wa poberane da kwani ba mi gum afu akwa yo dushu metikere mba man me ma fen MTM kiken ba mi gum hi man.
Together we're unstoppable.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Namunkekela Agro-Processing Industries Limited, NAPIL, presents the Namunkekela Laotian Industrial Park Trade Show and Bazaar under the theme Celebrating Local and Foreign Investment on Friday 27th to Saturday 28th September 2024 at Kapeka Industrial Park starting at 9 a.m. Entrance is free. Are you a business person, school, or consumer of authentic Ugandan products? Don't miss this chance for incredible discounts on premium items like ceramic tiles, electricals, garments, shoes, bags, TVs, agricultural tools, dried mangoes, and pineapples. Guests of honor are Minister for Investment, Honorable Evelyn Anite, and the Chief Coordinator Operation Wealth Creation, General Salim Saleh. Come and enjoy Uganda's top artists. Would you like to exhibit? Call 0783-293-348 or 0757-896-914. Kapeka, the center for all your quality products.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll take you back to our story where the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has urged adults to encourage young people in their communities to be confident, believe in themselves, and know their worth in life. She believes this will help curb teenage pregnancies, reduce school dropouts, and enable young people to thrive. She was addressing a stakeholders consultative meeting that she hosted for leaders in Masaka at Masaka region, at Masaka State Lodge.
While addressing a stakeholders consultative meeting the First Lady hosted for leaders in the Masaka region, she observed that African children face an additional challenge compared to youth in other parts of the world. They often grow up feeling looked down upon, ignored, and with little, if any, confidence.
They leave Africa, they leave their homeland, they leave their parents' home, a place where they can thrive, where they can do some businesses and manage to live. But they believe that if they go to Europe, then they succeed. And because they do not know what is on the other side, they get there and they are used as house help, or they are given some petty jobs and they are paid very little, and they are misused. All that come because they have no confidence of who they are.
She emphasized the need for young people to reflect on questions like, who am I and why am I here? She stressed the importance of understanding that they are created in God's image and that God is always accessible through prayer. Mrs. Museveni highlighted the crucial role adults play in guiding young people to improve their lives and fulfill their purpose.
To have some adults who are willing to spare their time to come and sit together and try to put together a strategy that can help our young people so that their tomorrow can be assured, so that they can move through their life whole, not abused. I must thank you so much.
The meeting proposed several solutions to address the challenges facing young people in Masaka. These include instilling values, morals, and providing counseling for youth, educating the community and students about the dangers of forced marriages and social immorality, and implementing regulations on students' access to social media, among other measures. The First Lady later on addressed over 3,000 youth from various schools across 10 districts of Greater Masaka who convened at St. Henry's College Tovu in Masaka District for the 6th Regional Youth Summit. The minister advised young people to exercise caution when making choices, emphasizing that every decision carries consequences.
It is therefore my prayer today that you have taken the lessons and discussions held here under the guidance of your life skills facilitators seriously. I appeal to you to go back and think through the values you have been taught and make a conscious decision to live your life with purpose and a commitment to do all it takes to succeed in your education and in life in general.
At the event, the students signed the True Love Awaits cards, pledging to live purposely and complete their education goals.
When temptations such as these come to you, do as the Bible says, flee. That's 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18, advises us to flee immorality. Every other sin that a man commits is outside the body, but the immoral man sins against his own body.
The Youth Summit themed My Life, My Responsibility aims to equip adolescents with essential life skills. These skills are designed to help them navigate life's challenges, conduct themselves in a manner that honors God, and foster safe environments in which they can thrive. Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
Conservationists are concerned over the shrinking habitat for gorillas, given their increased population at over 1,000. The finding was contained in a report by the International Gorilla Conservation Program ahead of the World Gorilla Day to be celebrated on the 24th of September.
Mountain gorilla numbers have been rising steadily over the past 3 decades, largely attributed to science-based conservation actions and innovative approaches. Following this increase, their threat status was downgraded from critically endangered to endangered. However, as the number rises, there are emerging concerns of habitat loss, which exposes the magnificent creatures to danger.
That we are losing the habitat of the animals. We are losing habitats at a very, very fast rate. And therefore, in addition to disease, we have a challenge of maintaining the habitat of the wildlife. The population is increasing, but the habitat is probably still the same or shrinking. And if we cannot be able to commit even resources going forward, it's unlikely that we will continue having a curve going up.
A report conducted by the International Gorilla Conservation Program for the past 3 decades shows that these protective measures have been instrumental in helping the mountain gorillas thrive.
Being a community-centered approach, IGCP has progressed community incentive for gorilla conservation to collaborative initiatives such as establishment of community enterprises and other income-generating activity. This has grown to support for conservation, improve park community relations, and reduce poaching and habitat loss.
The report indicates that veterinary care and medical interventions have been pivotal in supporting the health and growth of gorilla populations.
Gorillas are monitored every day. The trackers, researchers, veterinarians go to the field every day because they are habituated and they monitor their health. They look at the threats which are there in the forest, and should there be a problem, they can be in position to revert it. Then, the health intervention. As veterinarians, we regularly monitor these gorillas, see if any of them is having any sign of sickness, and then we treat.
Gorillas contribute a vital part in the region's economy, especially through tourism. When protected, gorillas have a multiplier effect on tourism, benefiting local communities and attracting international visitors.
By promoting mountain gorilla tourism, the program and partners successfully engage visitors to appreciate the gorillas and their habitat while generating revenue for local community and conservation efforts. Activities such as gorilla trekking not only raise awareness about the breed of these magnificent animals,
call you every day. Yeah, yo, baby, don't go.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
At Uganda Development Bank, we are committed to empowering communities by supporting projects that unlock excellent economic benefits for Ugandans through job creation, tax contribution, output value, and foreign exchange. We seek partnerships with projects that drive economic development in Uganda.
Faith Care was started in 2012 with our few savings, with a capacity of 1,000 birds. And now we have a capacity of 10,000 birds. As it is called mixed farm, Faith Care deals in zero grazing cows, and we grow seasonal crops, not even forgetting coffee. But the main project or enterprise is poultry. Poultry is the mother of everything. We have been facing many challenges, but the most challenging part was during COVID. COVID hit us very seriously, and that's when I met my savior, UDB. But after getting UDB money with the low interest of it, we are able to go back to the track, and here we are. Actually, we are even expanding. We have a capacity laying birds of 10,000, and we are constructing more poultry houses. The UDB nafunamu because we got the money, actually the sente zazi tugasa with little interest with a grace period. So we are able to brood our birds, start laying, and we started paying, and we are paying very well. I think we are good customers.
The Uganda Swimming Federation's third and final swim meet of the year happened over the weekend. We have details to this.
Over the course of the weekend, the 2024 Uganda Swimming Federation League was a success. The third league meet was dominated by Dolphins duo Aziku Ian and Pendo Kaumi, who were impressive.
Pendo targets 100 freestyle 154. You're going into a second position with a 55. 1.5, not only for 2.5, will be coming in with a 15.1, resulting into a 55.6. This is where time starts increasing into the wall. It is a big team.
Aziku Ian beat Larry Finney, Ampire Namanya, and Kimuli Trevor in the 50-meter breaststroke with a time of 30 seconds for the second week in succession, while Pendo Kaumi made 2 minutes 22 seconds in a 200-meter individual medley and a fast 54 seconds in the 100-meter freestyle event.
I was just trying to hold it under waters, and backstroke, I'm very weak at backstroke, so I was trying my best to just hold on till I get to advantage. That's breaststroke. Try to cover distance. But yeah, freestyle, I was gone.
We've done 3 events each day, which was a good idea. Yeah, all in all, it was a good gala.
Too much pressure of having so many events on one day, which is really good. 3 events a day isn't really something heavy to do.
The two will focus on improving their times ahead of the Kana Aquatics Zone 3 Championship set for Burundi this November.
First I have to finish finals. For me, I have finals in about 2 weeks until I'll start training again late October.
For me, I've been on work, so I haven't been training. I start training on Monday actually. But I'm going to take my training more seriously morning and evening while I'm still doing school until Kana.
On the next history, let's have on first 25, Martina 1, Lukomwa in the water, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Meanwhile, in the boys 15 to 16 age bracket, Getter swimmer Ethan Sengoba made personal best times in the 100-meter freestyle with a 55 seconds and the 100-meter butterfly with a 1 minute 2 seconds, and also shone in the 200-meter individual medley. Athletes will return after a fortnight for the Independence Gala. Thereafter, will shift focus towards the National Sprints Meet in November before the Kana Zone 3 Games in Burundi later that month. Mashamiro Victor, UBC News.
Had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Micheal Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakon and the whole team. Wish you the best of the night. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
My girl, she a Cinderella dance till she fall off. She not care for money even if you're big and tough. She do it for the love. She a liquor shot till she tipsy. That be dancing, yeah.
Why cross halfway?